Hello, ghost hunters! If you feel like the Voodoo Doll is a useless cursed possession, stay tuned and I'll show you how it can help you in your hunts. The Voodoo Doll has come a long way since the first release of Phasmophobia. The original Voodoo Doll looked very different than the current Voodoo Doll, and there were lots of myths surrounding this thing. These old Voodoo Dolls are no longer part of the game and instead have been replaced with this newer, improved Voodoo Doll. The Voodoo Doll is one of 6 cursed possessions. It can be found at each location as seen here. As with all cursed possessions, taking a photo of the Voodoo Doll will give you a photo reward, and it is also labeled in the journal. Unlike most of the other cursed possessions, this item is not great for helping you find the ghost room, so it is best to discover the ghost haunting area prior to using the Voodoo Doll. It has 10 pins stuck in specific spots around its body. To use the doll, players must push these pins into the doll. All pins, when pushed, will drop sanity at the player using the doll. Pushing pins in the doll that are not in the heart will force the ghost to perform an interaction. This is where the doll is most useful and why it is so important to use the doll inside of the ghost haunting area. With each pin, ghosts can interact with things nearby, and this includes the ghost writing book, the dots projector, items that will give EMF evidence and may produce EMF 5, and cause interactions with doors, windows, and light switches, which may leave behind fingerprint evidence. This makes the Voodoo Doll an excellent item to help you get evidence. The heart pin has a slightly different result, as it will drop the player's sanity by 10 and immediately start a cursed hunt. And in my experience, the heart pin used near the ghost haunting area almost always results in death, as cursed hunts only have a 1-second grace period. Unconfirmed, but based on my own personal experiences, it seems that some of these pins may cause a bigger dip in sanity. The pins in the body of the Voodoo Doll are supposed to drop your sanity by 5. It's hard to confirm an exact amount of lost sanity, as the van shows a varying number for players' sanity. Upon release, it was believed that pins in the doll's head were slightly worse than the pins located in the body. And from my own experience, it seems that these pins may also cause a ghost scare event, or the mist event as some people call it, along with its dip in sanity. As far as objectives, the Voodoo Doll can be useful for helping drop sanity. This would of course increase your chance in having a ghost event, but it is not a guarantee. You can also use it to help you escape or smudge a ghost during a hunt, but remember, using the doll to start a hunt will ignore crucifixes. The takeaway from this is that the Voodoo Doll is most useful when trying to get evidence or interactions for photo rewards. It did seem to consistently pull ghost writing and dots evidence, along with providing lots of services for fingerprints and moved items for EMF readings. But outside of that, it falls a little short in comparison to other cursed possessions. There are a few interesting things I have not yet covered about the Voodoo Doll. First, if your sanity is very low and the doll cannot drain the sanity for the pushed pin, when attempting to use the doll, it will push in all of the pins. This of course will include the heart pin and immediately start a cursed hunt. So keep this in mind if you wait to use the Voodoo Doll until you are attempting to extract the last piece or two of evidence from your ghost. When the Voodoo Doll was first released, it was bugged in that players could push pins while outside of the location. Thankfully, this has since been fixed, as it could certainly cause some risky situations for players still inside the location. And finally, the Voodoo Doll currently has this interesting glitch. When one player is holding the doll, often other players will see that player teleporting and warping around the location. The player holding the doll will move normally and see things normally. Because of this, it is probably best to drop the doll during a hunt to avoid any weird, buggy deaths. How do you use the Voodoo Doll? Is this a cursed possession you typically skip over, or do you use it to get evidence? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and as always, happy hunting.